Are we live? We are live. Hey everybody, this is Gordon Miller, American Salon publisher, and hey to Facebook and American Salon followers. I am here in Chicago with Oribe's James Pecis. Did I say it right?
Yes.
I did say it right.
Perfect.
And you are here, well first of all, you're a global ambassador for Oribe. It's a big job.
Yes. It's an amazing job. We've been working together since October. We have been working, redeveloping the education program.
We're going to talk loud because you never know what to say.
And I tend to mumble. So it's working on the education program, all kinds of new things in store, doing product development. We're doing these different events, teaching hairdressers around the country.
I love it. And we're in Chicago, you hear a train, or if you can hear a train, you know we're in Chicago because we seem to be the land of trains. Every time we do a Facebook Live, we have a train kind of near us or with us. So, again, you had a workshop all day today. This brand I'm fascinated because I've been around for a while and I've watched this brand evolve and grow. And very classic, very luxurious, but I also think of it as very modern.
I'm glad that you said that because it's that's what Oribe and the company is about. Like it's extremely tied in with what's happening with the fashion shows. We work on the shows in New York, London, Paris, Salon. We're highly involved, and the reason why it's important is because we're trying to connect that with all our salons, and so that people are not just aware of what's going on in the world with trends, but they're able to help their clients achieve those things.
That's very cool. I'm going to, well, first of all, I'm going to invite you to do this live when I've got my crew here. It's just us sitting in the studio, so I always hope everything technically is good.
A couple trains.
And a couple trains.
Yeah.
But in New York, where our editorial crew is, I hope we can come over and visit you and do some how-tos on live, because I think our audience would love that. We're going to play something we call 5 questions, and so I'm going to try to pull up my little notes here and ask you 5 questions that I think people will enjoy hearing some answers to. Okay. So I'm going to start off with the bucket list, because we all have one. So professionally and personally, what's on your bucket list?
Professionally on the bucket list, right now is, my primary job is I work on photo shoots and fashion shows.
Okay.
So that's a continuous thing that I've been working on for many years. But right now, one of the big things that's professionally on the bucket list is we're doing a lot of things with Oribe. Like there's this education program that we're setting up that is unlike anything that has ever been done, and it was taking a lot of attention, and it's quite amazing. So I'm really excited to share that with people, and that's like the first goal.
Okay.
In my own life, I'm just doing more projects. I enjoy making little books and things, and then I have this new interest of making things and then having them being sold, and the proceeds go to charity. So Oribe has like a little zine right now that's called Hair is So Much Fun, or Hair is Fun. Okay. And it's just compiled images from the fashion shows from the last few years of our team. And it's just like a fun little zine. I think they $7 or $10, but the proceeds go to Locks and Glow.
Oh, I love that.
So trying to find fun things to do, creative outlets, but then having even something better come out of it.
Okay, so we're going to make sure we put up an article on the American Salon website about this, because I've never heard this of Oribe and what you guys are doing. So I love the little zine thing. I love the charity connection.
Yeah, there's some more things coming. We have some really cool ideas.
But we need to learn more. Yeah. Okay, so best advice you have ever been given, and why?
Okay, best advice I've ever been given is when there's no wind, row.
I love it.
And I thought it was very simple, and it's very, it explains itself, but you don't always have wind in your sails, so there's many times where you just need to row.
That's good advice. I love that. I love that. Tell us just about a typical day in the life of James.
Typical day in the life probably includes getting on a flight somewhere, landing somewhere else, going straight to a job, maybe taking a shower at the airport, and doing it again. it's a really fun job. I have Adelina, who works with me. We travel together. We've been doing this for years, and it doesn't get old. It's very demanding, but it's very rewarding.
How did you, so you've been on some of the covers of some of the most iconic fashion magazines on the planet, and you've worked with some of the most amazing designers on the planet. So how did you get to that? What was your path?
How do you get to that?
How did you get to that? Because I don't think it's for everyone.
Yeah, it's definitely not for everyone. It's you know, there's a video that they're playing downstairs, and we say it's like chasing rainbows. But the persistence and dedication, persistence where you have to it's being in the right place at the right time, so you have to make sure you're always in a place where it might be the right place. And when I say that, I'm not talking about going out. I'm talking about like being on the job where you might meet a stylist, an editor who might pull you onto another job. It might be, it's work. It's hard work. In my head, I always thought that you can't just give 110% because there's already 1,000 people giving 110%. You need to give 130%. Figure out what things you don't know how to do. Like I didn't know how to braid, so I taught myself how to braid. And then now I braid all the time. So it's like finding your weaknesses and trying to work through them.
So where do you? I think of the people who are in your kind of category in the business. It's almost like the fine art part of hair. If I think of commercial art, fine art in the art world, commercial hair, it's like you guys are the fine artists, or for this fashion couture. Yeah. Where's the inspiration come from?
The inspiration? It's hard. Like in my head right now, like I don't find inspiration from social media. I find it from just like looking around and seeing what's going on. So like me putting the phone down and looking around. Time in the library, going through things. I'm not looking for inspiration from fashion. I'm looking from music, from culture, different cultures, from movies. So trying to find other areas to pull inspiration than from fashion. If that's
interesting. Yeah, that's very interesting. Well, it makes sense in a lot of ways, because I could see if you were always looking inside of fashion, considering the work we do is in fashion, it could get kind of derivative.
There's always going to be like an Abaddon reference. There's always going to be like these iconic, like a pin reference. But if you're trying to reference things that are within the last 10 years, it becomes more of copy.
Yeah.
But I think it's just a matter of like looking around and like being curious. I used to work with a guy named Laurent Philippon, who's probably one of the most curious people I've ever met.
Yeah.
And that's where you get inspiration. Is just being like, what's behind that door? Like, what else is out there?
No, it's so true. It's great advice. So you mentioned you don't really look like to social media to get it, and yet social media is like everywhere now.
Yeah.
And for working hairdressers behind the chair, it's become one of the greatest marketing tools ever.
Definitely.
But certainly education, inspiration, it kind of runs the gamut depending on what a person's looking for. So
Yeah.
what's kind of your take on social media, more for the audience, and what you think perhaps they can take from it from your perspective?
Well, which is interesting is that like people love it or they hate it, and what I realize is I'm not going to hate social media because it's not going anywhere. So in my head, it's just I have fun with it. So it's fun. I see what my friends are doing. I see, I get to post things I'm doing. It's a tool. I think a lot of hairdressers or just professionals are using it today as a tool, and it's like a really effective tool. But also, we're going to see how things change because people are also aware that there's all kinds of apps that can alter things, and like I had an app the other day where I can change people's hair color on the app. I'm like, whoa! So you can face tune and do all these crazy things. So I guess it's like, to me, it's entertainment and it's fun.
Yeah.
I don't look at it for anything more than that. And I think a big thing that we're going to start seeing, and this is what's really cool with all this education we're doing with Oribe, is that it's a very gray area with who's doing good hairdressing, great hairdressing, and who's kind of doing something mediocre with like some mediocre celeb, and they have a lot of followers. So I think that's maybe in the future it's going to become a little bit more clear. If not, we'll just have fun with it because it's just fun.
Well, I think yes, it is a lot of fun. And hopefully we're having fun now. Again, we're kind of guerrilla here, and I hope that people can still hear and see us.
I mean, as far as that goes, this is exciting because we're sitting upstairs at the venue and we're videotaping and live, and there's so many forms to see things. The biggest thing with all this media that I think is really important that we were talking about earlier today is the clients in the smallest town in Middle America now have access to what was on the runway product yesterday. So, the clients are coming in and they're showing their hairdresser, be like, I want this look. And it's really important for us to be up to date. So I guess in another way, I look at social media as it's news. When Prince passed away, I knew about it through social media.
Yeah, we all did. It's news, it's the way to connect with people, it's the way to network with people. I mean, there'll be people who follow you and know of you and know your work because of social media who will never maybe get the chance to meet you, and yet will be inspired by you. And then on the other hand, like you say, I mean, people in small towns, people in the third world, are being inspired by things that are happening all over the world. It's bringing them fashion, it's bringing them education. It's a total game changer.
It is, and it's very interesting as everyone is just like, what are we going to do? Right. But we'll see. It's fun.
It is, and it's good for business. I'm still trying to figure out Snapchat, I will admit.
Right.
I will admit I'm a social media, I think, evangelist for the industry. I've been in love with it and promoted it for years. Snapchat,
Well, here's the thing. Okay, so I was with Peter Phillips, makeup artist, and he's older than me, and he was saying that the guy who developed Snapchat made a comment, I made this for young people because older people aren't going to understand. So that was like a challenge. I'm like, all right, I'm going to learn how to use this thing. And it took me a while, but yeah, I can use it.
Okay, good. You may have to give me a lesson when we're done. I'm still struggling. Thankfully, my staff is great at it. Last question would be a piece of advice for anybody who wants to not necessarily do what you're doing, but reach the level of success that you've reached, whether it's behind the chair, whether it's being a salon owner, whether it's being an artist and educator, any big picture success advice?
Well, I think it's the cool thing is there's so many different possibilities, especially like as a hairdresser, but just stay true to what you want to do. If you want to chase after the most ridiculous, difficult thing that's impossible, do it. And it's fun. So just go for it. I mean, just believe in yourself and be persistent.
No, it's good advice.
I mean, we just did an event downstairs, which I'm hoping a lot of people walked away and got a lot out of it. But I actually get like an insane amount out of it because I just talked to all these hairdressers one-on-one, and like this is a bunch of people in a room that they're so passionate about this thing that they're in this room giving their time up to do this. Yeah. It's pretty cool.
No, it's
so
really cool.
I'm gonna go get on a plane and then not be able to sleep because I'll be excited about all this.
Okay. Well, thanks for doing this. Tell us what's next. You're going to New York. What's next for you? What's next for Oribe? And we'll say goodbye from that.
What's next? So tomorrow morning, go to a shoot. We shoot the rest of the week, and then we have an event coming up in Las Vegas, another one of these, and then we have one in Nashville. It's gonna be super cool. I'm really excited about that, and just a ton of things. We have working on products. Big thing is education, more classes, and yeah, all kinds of fun stuff. Okay, cool.
All right, so hopefully this worked. If not, we'll get with James again in New York. And so this is James and Gordon saying goodbye from Chicago. Goodbye everybody on Facebook, and I'm going to get up and hit the stop button.
Thank you.